Good morning students, welcome you all once again. As in a previous video, we had come to know that searching for gold in the garbage dumps has different meaning for the adults, while it has some different meaning for the children. For children, it is a kind of surprise that is wrapped up and they will unfold it. Now I am going to start the next para. One winter morning, I see Sahib standing by the fenced gate of the neighborhood club, watching two young men dressed in white playing tennis. I like the game, he hums, content to watch it standing behind the fence. I go inside when no one is around, he admits. The gatekeeper lets me use the swing. Content is satisfied. Fenced is the outer wall. One morning, when the writer saw Sahib standing by the fence of a club, he was watching a tennis game being played by two young men. Sahib liked the game but could not play it. He told the writer that he went inside the club when it would be closed. He was allowed to take swings by the guard there. Now the second para is Sahib too is wearing tennis shoes that look strange over his discolored shirt and shorts. Someone gave them to me, he says in the manner of an explanation. The fact that they are discarded shoes of some rich boy who perhaps refused to wear them because of a hole in one of them does not bother him. For one who has walked barefoot, even shoes with a hole is a dream come true. But the game is he is watching so intentionally is out of his reach. Discarded means thrown away or neglected. Bother means worry. Then writer saw that Sahib was also wearing tennis shoes. They did not look like appropriate with his dress, which was worn out and had faded. He told the writer in an attempt to justify himself that someone gave him the shoes. She, however, figured out that she had got he had got them from a garbage dump. They must have been thrown away by a boy from a rich family as he did not want to wear them anymore. Probably they had a hole or two in them due to which he did not want to wear them. On the contrary, Sahib was not bothered by this fact and had no problem wearing them, as he could not afford anything better than that. He walked barefoot, and to wear a shoe, even with a hole, was like a dream for him. Although, due to the garbage dump, Sahib's dream of wearing shoes had been partially fulfilled, but his desire to play tennis would never be fulfilled. Now, the next para is this morning, Sahib is on his way to the milk booth. In his hand is a steel canister. I now work in a tea stall down the road, he says, pointing in the distance. I am paid 800 rupees and all my meals. Does he like the job? I ask. His face, I see, has lost the carefree look. The steel canister seems heavier than the plastic bag he would carry, so light over his shoulder. The bag was his. The canister belongs to the man who owns the tea shop. Sahib is no longer his own master. When one morning the writer was going somewhere, then she met Sahib, who was on his way to milk booth. He was holding a steel canister. He told her that he had got a job at the nearby tea stall, and now he has left the work of rag picking. He would earn 800 rupees a month and get meals too. The writer asked him if he liked the job, as she could see that he had lost the carefree look. As now Sahib was working for someone else and was carrying his master's canister, he was burdened with the responsibilities. Earlier, as a rag picker, Sahib would carry his own bag and was his own master. Now, he was no longer his own master. Students, now the second part of this chapter or the second story is about a person or about a boy. His name was Mukesh, and he has also a dream to be rich or to be self dependent. I want to drive a car. Mukesh insists on being his own master. I will be a motor mechanic, he announces. Then the writer met a boy named Mukesh who aspired to become a motor mechanic. Do you know anything about cars? I asked. When the writer asked him if he knew anything about cars, I will learn to drive a car, he answers, looking straight into my eyes. His dream looms like a mirage amidst the dust of streets that fill his town Firozabad, famous for its bangles. Every other family in Firozabad is engaged in making bangles. It is the center of India's glass blowing industry where families have spent generations working around furnaces, welding glasses, making bangles for all the women in the land, it seems. Looking straight into my eyes, this is a phrase with confidence and determination. Looms like a mirage seems that it will be true in the future, but actually it will not be so. Amidst is in the middle of glass blowing industry related to making glass or melting glass. Furnaces is a closed room or a container where heat is produced to melt the glass. Welding is the process of joining metal or glass pieces by heating them. When the writer met the boy whose name was Mukesh, he was confident and replied that he would learn to drive a car. His dream was far away from reality, and although the boy was confident, he would succumb to the societal pressures. He lived in Firozabad, which was famous for glass bangles. The writer felt that the boy's dreams would not materialize and gradually get influenced by the dusty streets of Firozabad. She wanted to say that as every family in the town of Firozabad was involved in the glass bangle industry, so would Mukesh do with the passage of time. She tells us that Firozabad was the main town of India for the glass blowing industries. The families had been involved in working at furnaces, welding glass, and making bangles for the generations. They made so many bangles that it seemed that they had made bangles for all the women of the world. Now the next para is Mukesh's family is among them. None of them know that it is illegal for children like him to work in the glass furnaces with high temperatures in dingy cells without air and light. That the law, if enforced, could get him and all those 20,000 children out of the hot furnaces where they slog their daylight hours, often losing the brightness of their eyes. Dingy is very dark or dim. Slog is hard work. Daylight hours means hours of the day when there is sunlight. Brightness of their eyes here refers to the power of eyes to see. Students, as every other family is involved in making the bangles in Firozabad, Mukesh's family was also involved in the profession of glass bangle making. They were not aware of the law. They did not know that it was unlawful to force children to work in such glass furnaces. The workplaces were hot, dark, closed room without ventilation. The writer felt that if the law would come into force, it would rescue almost 20,000 children from these inhuman places where they were forced to work hard during the daytime. They often ended up losing their eyesight also. Next para is Mukesh's eyes beam as he volunteers to take me home, which he proudly says is being rebuilt. We walk down stinking lanes choked with garbage, past homes that remain hovels with crumbling walls, wobbly doors, no windows, crowded with families of humans and animals coexisting in a primeval state. He stops at the door of one such house, bangs a wobbly iron door with his foot and pushes it open. Beam is signed brightly. Volunteers is freely offers to do something. Stinking is a very bad smell. Chalked is blocked. Ovals is slums area especially. Crumbling is falling down. Wobbly is unsteady or unable to stand properly. Coexisting is present at the same time and place. Primeval is prehistoric and banks is hits. Mukesh was happy as he took the writer to his home. He felt proud as he informed her that it was being renovated. They walked down streets which were full of garbage and gave foul smell. The streets were lined with slums which were unsteady. The walls were falling apart, the doors were unsteady, there were no windows and were full of families where people lived along with animals. They reminded the writer of the prehistoric man who lived just like animals. Mukesh stopped in front of one such door, hit it hard with his foot and pushed it open. So students, the next portion of the chapter we will cover in the next video. This is all for today. Thank you very much.